I didn't know someone was living in my house. But he was. Sleeping above me. Waiting for me to fall asleep. I only found out because I started noticing small things. Food missing. Doors slightly open. Footsteps. Above my bedroom. And the worst part? He had been there for weeks. Maybe longer. I live in Columbus, Ohio. Quiet neighborhood. Tree-lined streets. Retired couples. Families with kids. Nothing like this ever happens here. That's why I bought the house. 2 stories. Old wood floors. An unfinished attic. I never used it. I never needed to. I live alone. Or at least, I thought I did. The first thing that changed was the food. It started small. A few slices of bread missing. Turkey disappearing from the fridge. Protein bars gone from a sealed box. I assumed I was stress eating. I worked from home. Long hours. Late nights. It made sense. Until it didn't. I started counting. 8 slices before bed. 6 in the morning. I took pictures of the fridge. Compared them the next day. Things were different. Not dramatically. Just slightly. A container pushed back. A wrapper missing. Milk lower than it should be. Small details. Small enough to doubt myself. But big enough to feel wrong. Then came the sounds. The first one happened at 1:43 a.m. A dull thud. Directly above me. Not loud. But heavy. Intentional. I froze in bed. The room was dark except for the streetlight outside. I held my breath. Waited. Nothing. Just silence. I told myself it was the house settling. Old wood expands. Contracts. Makes noise. That explanation worked. For a while. 2 nights later, I heard it again. Not a thud this time. A creak. Slow. Measured. Like weight shifting carefully. From one side of the ceiling. To the other. I couldn't move. It wasn't random. It had rhythm. Step. Pause. Step. Pause. Like someone trying not to be heard. After 30 seconds. It stopped. Not faded. Stopped. Like whoever it was listening back. The next morning, one of my kitchen drawers was open. 2 inches. I never leave drawers open. Ever. I stood there staring at it. My reflection in the microwave door looked pale. That was the first time I felt real fear. Not anxiety. Not stress. Fear. Days passed. More things shifted. The shower curtain felt damp when I hadn't showered. The TV downstairs was on one morning. Muted. The attic ladder was slightly cracked open. About an inch. I hadn't touched it in months. I pushed it closed. Tried to ignore the shaking in my hands. That night I checked every lock. Every window. Twice. At 2:17 a.m. I woke up again. No sound triggered it. Just a feeling. Like something had changed. Then I heard it. Breathing. Above me. Slow. Controlled. Not mine. I felt tears forming before I realized I was crying. The breathing moved across the ceiling. Left. To right. Then it stopped. Completely. Like whoever was up there had realized I was awake. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. In the morning, I pulled down the attic ladder. My hands were shaking. Dust floated through the light of my phone. The air was stale. Heavy. I climbed halfway up. Shined the flashlight around. Insulation. Beams. Old boxes. Nothing obvious. Until I saw it. In the far corner, the insulation was flattened, compressed, like someone had been lying there. Recently, I felt my stomach drop. I called the police. I felt ridiculous saying it out loud. "I think someone is in my attic." 2 officers came. They searched everything: closets, garage, basement, then the attic. When they came down, their faces had changed. "There's no one up there right now." Right now. Those words echoed in my head. Then one of them showed me something. Hidden under the insulation. Food wrappers. Bread ties. Turkey packaging. Mine. All mine. They searched again. Nothing. No forced entry. No broken locks. Before leaving, they suggested cameras. So I installed 3. Hallway. Living room. One pointed directly at the attic ladder. The first 2 nights were quiet. Too quiet. On the 3rd night, at exactly 2:14 a.m., the attic ladder moved. Just slightly. Lowered a few inches. Paused. Then slowly returned to place. No one visible. Just movement. I barely slept after that. The 4th night changed everything. 3:03 a.m. The hallway camera activated. The attic ladder lowered. Fully. Slowly. Carefully. And then I saw him. Thin. Dirty. Wearing dark clothes. Moving like he had done this many times before. He climbed down. Silently. Stood in the hallway. Facing my bedroom door. He stayed there. For almost 2 minutes. Listening. Waiting. I could see his chest rising and falling. He was calm. Comfortable. Like he belonged there. Then he walked into my kitchen. Opened my fridge. Took food. Closed it gently. And climbed back into the attic. Like it was routine. Like I was just part of his environment. The police caught him 2 days later. He had been entering through a small exterior roof vent. Choosing houses carefully. Single occupants. No dogs. No alarms. When they asked him how long he had been living above me, he said something I'll never forget. Long enough to know his schedule. I moved out a week later. New house. Different city. Roommates. Cameras. Locks. But sometimes, when a ceiling creaks at night, I don't think about wood expanding. I don't think about the wind. I think about someone lying above me, holding their breath, waiting for me to fall asleep. But that's not the part that keeps me awake. A week after I moved, the new homeowner called me. He asked if I had ever had issues with animals in the attic. I told him no. He went quiet for a second. Then he said something that made my blood run cold. "There's insulation missing up here." He said it looked like someone had been building small barriers. Sections. Dividers. Like separate spaces. Not just one place to sleep. Multiple. I asked him if the police had cleared everything. He said yes. They had searched thoroughly. But then he said something else. They found more food wrappers. Different brands. Not mine. New ones. Recent. The man they arrested is still in jail. I checked. So sometimes, when I wake up in the middle of the night, and I hear a faint creak above me, in a house that doesn't even have an attic, I don't think about the man they caught. I think about the possibility that he wasn't alone. Sleep carefully tonight.